And look, I tell you what I would say, Manchester United absolutely, totally and utterly deserved to win that game today. Manchester City can sit back with their 92% possession, but the point remains, Manchester United had the best chances in that game. And I tell you what, if Dan James and Anthony Martial had a little bit more football intelligence, Bruno would have had a couple of easy goals. So we could have won that game 3 or 4-0. So possession for Manchester City is very, very important in a game. But I tell you what, I think Pep Guardiola's sides can be quite boring at times. I saw Mourinho do it to Pep in the semi-final with Inter a few years ago, and I think Ollie's done it to him a few times this season. You can give up possession, you can play the worst football technically, but you can deserve to win the game. And 3 games out of 4, Ollie has beaten Pep Guardiola. So this, to me, is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's most significant win as a Manchester United manager. Forget PSG, that was a bit of a smash and grab. And yes, it was defensive today, but Manchester United and the way he set us up today, it was very obvious what he did. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got a lot of criticism for picking Dan James today. And we were talking about it in the watch-along. And I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, look, wherever you are, I just think, I said it after Everton, we've got to go and win today, and we've won today. We've got to beat Spurs next week. Then we've got a run in that we've got lots of games there. At the moment, it looks like Solskjaer will be here next season. But to be honest, I'm not really bothered about that. I don't want to think beyond May. I'm thinking about the next few weeks. We're in the race for top 4, but there is no doubt that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at the moment is looking good as Manchester United manager at the future. But Manchester United have got to get top 4. We've put ourselves in a position again. We've got a great record against the top 4, and Ollie has continued with that today. But the big shout out with Solskjaer goes to the Dan James selection. A lot of people were today, why is Dan James playing? Agallo should be playing, Mason Greenwood should be playing. And the reality is that Dan James today did exactly the job that Dan James should have done. Dan James was a threat. And look, yeah, he should have squared it back to Martial. Of course he should have squared it back to Martial. We all know that. He definitely, to Bruno, he should have done that. But Dan James scared Manchester City today. Every time we hit the channel with Dan James, he's probably one of the quickest players in the club, and it terrified Manchester City today. So Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, from a tactical point of view, look, we'll give Dan James his player rating in a minute, but from a tactical point of view, the way that Ole set the team up today, and look, is that going to be successful for United in the future? I'll tell you it won't be, and I'll tell you why in a moment. But in relation to short-termism, get a result today, Ollie went, I'm playing 5 at the back, I'm playing 2 centre midfielders, I'm going to starve Manchester City of chances, and he did. And what I want to do is when Man City get frustrated or complacent, I want to hit them on the break. I want to get chances, and we did. And it worked. And it worked against Man City at the Etihad. And it worked ahead against Manchester City today. And it worked against Chelsea and on the opening game of the season. These teams that want to play good football do struggle against us in relation to creating chances when we put a shield of players in front of them. And unlike Chelsea a few weeks ago at the Bridge, where if Batshuayi could score goals, Batshuayi would have won in the game, but we won. Today, we had the better chances over Manchester City. We really did. And the Dan James thing worked. Whether Dan James scores 10 out of 10 or 4 out of 10, what his job was stretched Manchester City and allowed us to stretch Man City and create chances. So Solskjaer got that right today. Pep got schooled by Solskjaer. I and you saw the plan. When Dan James was picked in a 5-3-2, you know we're going to try and hit him on the break with pace. So Pep Guardiola knew that as well, and he still lost the game. And cynics will say, well, they lost the game because of Ederson. Ederson got 2 assists. Ederson's man of the match. But Man City had more than enough opportunity to get back into that game, and they couldn't break down what was a really effective defensive performance from Manchester United. And what we must do from here is now go and win games. We've got to go and win the rest of the games. We've got to go, not all of them. I mean, that would be very, very difficult to achieve. And we are still on track for our worst ever Premier League finish ever. So, you know, you've got to add a little bit of salt into the cup of tea. But looking at the games we've got now, I can't really think of a game that jumps out and go, oh, that's difficult. There isn't really one. Spurs away next week, we should win that. Sheffield United at home, we should win that. The games are there to be won for United now. And from the last 9 or however many games, we should be looking to win 8. And if we do that, we'll get top 4, because Chelsea have got difficult finishers. That was a game today where Chelsea will have said United won't win that. And even though they've beaten Everton, us winning that today will give us so much confidence. It gives us a platform. It's another clean sheet. To win it 2-0 instead of 1-0 makes it look more convincing as well. It should have been 2-0. We deserved that on the chances created. So absolutely everything about that performance today has gone our way. And the great thing is, so many Manchester United fans predicted it. So many people thought we would win today. And just that feeling, because City look vulnerable at the back. And I think if you approach City in that way, where you stop them from doing what they want to do and then get at their back four, you can cause them problems. And it worked. It worked. And look, my man of the match today, and I thought Agallo, even if I'm not going to give Agallo man of the match, but I just saw someone talking about Agallo there. Did you see that takedown from Agallo? That long ball and the takedown and the strength. Exactly what you need. And United have got things going on now. Pogba's going to come back. That makes us stronger. We've got the Europa League. We've got loads of things to look forward to. And I just think we've got to grasp this opportunity now. And I think if we do get Champions League football, Solskjaer stays in a job. But so what? I think, do we not want Champions League football anyway? To me, it's always been that simple. And after the Burnley game, I'll admit, I put my hands up and said, he's got to go. He's just clearly not good enough. And I still think as a long-term coach, there is a massive question mark over Solskjaer and whether he is good enough or not. But that's for the future. That is for the future. It's you can't play that way. I'll talk about that in a bit because it's negative, and I don't want to focus on the negative. I want to talk about the positives. Man of the match today has got to be somebody that comes from the midfield or the defence. And there's 3 candidates for man of the match today for me: Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Nemanja Matic, and Luke Shaw. And the reason I mean, Luke Shaw was number 1 in the chart show yesterday, for anybody who didn't see that. And I just thought Luke Shaw today, he made a mistake at the start and Raheem Sterling nearly scored from it. But after that, he switched on. He became, he didn't take any more risks. He kicked the ball out when he needed to kick the ball out. He carried the ball when he needed to. But when Mahrez came on for Man City, I was worried. Because Mahrez, to me, is their most informed player at the moment. And Brandon Williams has been really good for Manchester United this season, but Brandon Williams got absolutely destroyed by Mahrez. He destroyed him, and Ollie saw it and took him off and then moved Luke Shaw from left centre-back to left-back and basically said, I know you've done really well at left centre-back, but now I'm going to put you in a brand new position to deal with their most important player. And Luke Shaw pocketed Mahrez as soon as he went there. Brandon Williams couldn't deal with Mahrez. Luke Shaw moves across and pockets him, just the way Wan-Bissaka pocketed Sterling. So both those 2 players played really well. Matic, again, invaluable, ran the midfield, hopped in where there was a short pass, got rid of it. I thought Matic was superb as well. It's going to be very difficult to pick the man of the match, so I'm going to do the player ratings now. De Gea, to me, was a 7. He actually made 2 very good saves, one from Sterling and one from Jesus. Really good game from De Gea, and a clean sheet. Flawless, no mistakes. Perfect performance from De Gea with the chances he had to do, and also wasn't overworked. And Martial was a good shout for man of the match as well. I thought Martial was superb. Aaron Wan-Bissaka to me was a 9. I think when you beat Manchester City at home, and you deserve to beat Manchester City at home, we ain't talking about Derby County here, we're talking Man City. He pocketed Raheem Sterling. Now, some people would say that's quite easy at the moment, but Mahrez tried to go and do him at one point. He did some little step over, and he put him in his pocket as well. So Wan-Bissaka was absolutely superb. I think Lindelof, a 7. It's hard to mark the centre-backs highly because they did a good job, but there's 3 of them against 1 striker. So your job's a little bit easier than Wan-Bissaka, who's 1v1 with Sterling all the time, or Williams, who was 1v1, and Shaw, who was 1v1. The back 3 were up against 1 striker, so your job is somewhat easier. So 7s all around for Maguire and Lindelof. I thought they did really, really well. Luke Shaw, to me, gets a 9 as well. I thought, as I said, when he moved over to the left back, he nullified for that last 15-20 minutes Mahrez. He was superb. Williams, I'd probably give him a 6. I thought he did well, but I think he really struggled when Mahrez came on, and it was almost going to be the area that we were going to get exploited. So I think he tired, definitely. McTominay, and I've got McTominay and Fred in there. Where's bloody Matic? So let's pretend McTominay's Matic. Matic was a 9, as I said. Just ran the midfield. And look, I agree with what people will say who are negative. They will say, well, it's not hard to be a decent midfielder when you've got 5 defenders behind you and another CDM next to you. Yeah, look, your job's a little bit easier than being a holding midfielder with a back 4 behind you. It is easier, but you can only do the job that you're asked to do. And I've always felt that Matic, against a team that's got a low centre of gravity, who move the ball around quickly, he would just get bypassed. And he didn't. He played really, really well today. So 9 for me for Matic. Fred, 7. Not. You know, I wouldn't say Fred's playing badly lately, but his high levels, he's sort of tailed off to very good. And he was very good today. I thought the way his energy of Fred's so important, especially in the last 10 minutes. The energy of Fred was superb. But I'd give him a 7. Bruno Fernandes a 7 as well. He should have had 2 goals today. If Martial and especially Dan James had played him in, he would have scored today. But the assist for the goal was majestic. And you know what? We would not have won the game today if it wasn't for Bruno Fernandes, because there's not many players who create that chance for Martial. And if we don't score that goal, what goal do we score? Because we only scored McTominay's because City are desperate. We needed to win that game 1-0 today. We needed a moment of brilliance, and it came from Bruno Fernandes, and that was a massive part of the game. Dan James, I give him a 7. I mean, if you don't understand the job that Dan James did, Dan James' job today was to get the ball, get your head down and run, and that's what he did. Very simplistic. But you know what? United's tactics today, I had somebody at half-time say to me, well, if United's tactics are so simple, why doesn't everybody do it? Well, I think United's tactics are very simple. What's difficult about playing 5 defenders, 2 holding midfielders, and hitting a team on the break? It's not difficult. It's very simple. What Pep does is very difficult. To play under pressure, one-touch football, triangle football, it's a lot harder to coach than what we coach today. But it doesn't mean just because something's harder, it's better. United's tactics, very simple today. Let's have 5 men behind the ball defensively, 2 holding midfielders, and when they make a mistake, the front 3 have got to move quick. It's very simple, but it was very effective. And it goes back to, I think it was 2010, Inter Milan, Barcelona, semi-final. Nobody gave Inter Milan a chance. It was Mourinho. And he parked the bus in both games. He got the goal on the break, and they couldn't break them down. It can still be done, especially against a team like Pep Guardiola. Pep's Man City and not Liverpool. Liverpool can mix things up. They've got Van Dijk. They've got good crosses and deliveries into the box. Man City will play through you. And if you do deprive them of space, and there are plenty of banks of players, then Pep Guardiola's team can be got up. Simple tactics, they work. Look, if Raheem Sterling scores from that chance in the first 10 minutes and we go 1-0 down, we're struggling. We can't keep doing that, and they can keep the ball. But if you can get ahead against the Pep team, this is what can happen, and we've done it a few times this season. Anthony Martial was an 8 for me. I thought Anthony Martial today, the best thing Anthony Martial didn't matter. There was a cross that came in, Otamendi's coming in, and he jumps and he clears it. And I'm like, who's defended that? Martial. Absolutely brilliant. His work rate was brilliant. His hold-up play was brilliant. He probably should have been a little less greedy to Bruno, and I've docked him a point for that, because that should have been a pass. But his goal was very good. Maybe Ederson should save it, but he takes it on the volley, he makes the keeper work, and the keeper bottles it. So for me, Anthony Martial was an 8. So look, smash a like on the video for the result. My man of the match. Oh, I tell you what. And I tell you what, Matthias, I absolutely love this. He says, Ollie showed temper during the game, which was nice to see. When Dan James went running down the wing, he got past his man. He does everything superbly well. And then he shoots and Ederson palms it over the bar. And I went bloody mad. I went, bloody hell. Just pass it back to Bruno and he's going to make it 2-0. And there was people in the live comments saying, oh, shut up, Mark. You're having a go at Dan James and he's done brilliant there. And then the camera cuts to Ollie, who does exactly the same thing, because he knows what I know and what a lot of people know, is that should have... He's done all the hard work. You're shooting from a silly angle. Cut it back. Bruno makes it 2-0. You've got the assist. Everyone praises you. And Bruno makes it 2-0. Football intelligence. We're still not quite there with that. But... yeah, I liked that from Ollie. I like the fact that he got angry with that. And but I'll come to Ollie in a minute. Man of the match. Man of the match for me. Right. It's got to be Wan-Bissaka. I'm going to go Wan-Bissaka because I think Wan-Bissaka doesn't get the credit because he's so consistent. I think in recent weeks, Wan-Bissaka's almost been forgotten. He never has an average game, let alone a bad game. He's just so consistent. He's so hard to get past. I've never known a defender like it. He's just so... I even said it before the game. Expect Sterling to skin him a couple of times because that's what happens. You do get beaten sometimes. But not him. Not him. He never ever gets beaten. He is so so hard to get past. And so for me, Wan-Bissaka was man of the match, just because he's just a superb defender, absolutely superb. So yeah, if you agree with me on Wan-Bissaka, smash a like. But you could have gone Matic, you could have gone Shaw, and you maybe could have gone Martial. And it's great to see all that. It's great to see all that. That from United players today, because defensively we were great. But also, look, nobody's getting a 6 apart from Williams, and that's only because Morez came on and gave him a hard game. But he'll learn from that. He'll learn from that, Brandon Williams. There's nothing wrong with being exploited like that, because he'll learn from it. And Ollie spotted the danger, which I thought was great, and he took him off. He put Shaw there, and Shaw just went, no, I'll sort this out. Because Luke Shaw at the moment is unbelievable. Absolutitely unbelievable. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, a 9 for me today. Only reason I haven't given him a 10 is because I don't like that style of football. I find it a bit, you spend a lot of time watching the opposition on the ball, which is, it's not nice to watch. But from a tactical point of view, he has scored Pep. He's got the 3 points. From a short-term point of view, I'd rather that than a 4-4. I'd rather that today in the circumstances than the best game I've ever seen, 4-4 draw, we're as good as them, entertaining football. That can come, hopefully. We needed to win today. So it's a 9 for me from Ollie, because he could have played Agallo, he could have played Greenwood, he played Dan James. Dan James was good on the break. Martial was back to his old best today. Another goal. The substitutions, look, a little bit negative they were. He did park the bus. He took Martial off. He brought McTominay on. He brought another defender on. He didn't actually. He took Bay off for Williams, didn't he? It was what it was. Let's address the elephant in the room here, because some people will say, well, you know what, it was a great performance, and some people will say you can't win titles with that. And look, for me, I said it a few weeks ago, and I'm going to remain consistent. I don't care what happens to Ollie in May at the moment. I don't care what happens to Pogba in May at the moment. And I don't really care who we're signing in the summer at the moment, because I care about what we're doing at this moment in time, short term. If we get Champions League football, Ollie will stay, Pogba might stay, and we'll get Jadon Sancho. If we don't, Ollie might go, we might not get Jadon Sancho, and Pogba will go. They're the scenarios, and we don't know what's going to happen. There's too many points to play for. There's the Europa League. I don't know what's going to happen, but I do know that today, this afternoon, we watched the Manchester derby, and Manchester United won a game of football, and we needed to win that. That Chelsea result really surprised me today. So United to go and react to that and mirror Chelsea again is fantastic. But it would be wrong of me not to mention the 5-3-2. The 5-3-2, I don't like it. I don't like it. It's got a very good result today. It got a very good result against them at the Etihad when we beat them 1-0 with the Matic goal. I don't like it. It's not Manchester United. We hardly had any of the ball. We did create chances, but you spend so much of the game waiting for things to happen that are exciting. There's no build-up play. I watched Man City knocking the ball about today, and I thought, you know what, I wish United could do that a little bit. Triangles, quick movement of the ball. We don't do that. It's very lethargic at times. It's wham bam, thank you, man. It's quick. City got the ball, then quickly, oh, we've had a shot. Oh, I missed it. I'm going to have to wait 10 minutes for another one. I get that. I do get that. And I hope that what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said, and we were talking about it last night, about he wants United to play free-flowing, attacking football with flair. We've got to hold him to his word for that and hope that does happen eventually. But today wasn't about that. Today was about getting the points. Next Sunday against Spurs, we've got to go and do it again and get the points, because you know what? If we win today and then we don't win next week, what's it all about? What's it all about? But we've remained 3 points behind Chelsea. That's touching distance. A draw today would not have been good enough. So really, really happy with it. You can't knock our lead today. Pep can moan about what? What's Pep going to moan about? Let's not forget, I've not even mentioned the fact that it should have been a penalty on Fred. I have mentioned that Bruno should have had 2 goals as well. Ederson maybe did gift us 2 goals, but when you look at that game, apart from Sterling at 1-0, who should have made it 1-1, we had lots of opportunities to score goals, other than the goals that we did. Man City didn't. So you can smoke your possession. The reality is we had the better chances. We deserve to win the game. And ultimately, as United fans, all we want to do is win and be successful. So as I keep saying, let's just go with it. Let's go with it. Let's see where we go over the next few weeks. And if we do get top 4, we do get top 4. If we don't get top 4, then it won't be because of these games. It won't be because of these games. It will be because of the games that we have lost to the Watfords, to the Burnleys, those sort of sides. They're the ones that we've got to watch out for and do better in. And they're the ones that we're finishing the season with. It's the run of the games against teams like your Aston Villas that we've got to now go and win. But look, with the confidence up, I think we all know with Manchester United that when we're playing a team that plays football better than us, we're very good at soaking up the pressure and hitting on the brake. And when we're playing against teams that are not better than us, we somewhat struggle sometimes to break them down. That's the job with us now, because we're better than Spurs. We can be better than Sheffield United as well. We've got to go and do that in the next few weeks. May have said already, but thoughts on Fred dives, says Alex Fold. Wasn't a dive. There was contact. Ollie man of the match, says Mark Burke. I think Edison was my man of the match. I'm not Ollie in or out right now. I just want top four, says the Bit W. And I think that's the way to be. I said this last week after the Everton game. Very disappointed, but I didn't say Ollie out because I think the Ollie in, Ollie out thing's just a load of crap. You'll see it all on social media tonight. People who were Ollie out last week are pretending they're Ollie in again. People who've been Ollie in the whole time will be going, oh, I was right. You're not right, and you're not wrong. We're on a short-term mission here to get top four, and then the decision gets made. That's all I want. I just want us to keep winning, get top four, and then Ollie stays. That's fine by me. That's an improvement. But in January, we're averaging 1.4 points a game. We're now averaging around 2 points a game. So there's a massive, massive improvement. And another assist for Bruno as well. He's a stat padder in the best possible way. I love this game. Ollie is the best. Made you say that. Haha. And Abanaf Ray says, Pep can eat possession. Manchester is red. Shian Ia, I voted for Ambasaka too on the United app. So good to see passion shown for the badge at the end, says Isaac Atkinson. Rasmus Malmgren says Martial bullied Fernandinho and Otamendi. Jay Jockin says it's good Ollie took off Williams because of Morez. It was. He had to do it. Ollie gets 10 out of 10 for me, says Mr. Glenn Johnson. Ollie showed temper during the game, which was nice to see, says Matthias. Ninja Smurf United, I'll admit Matic has proved me wrong lately. Yeah. Alexander 123332 if he says, Mark, did you see Ollie do the Pep celebration after the second goal? Brees Jones says Garlo's hold-up play was superb when he came on. It was magnificent. Do you think Fred's comments a while ago have had any impact on the team? A more cohesion unit since he spoke out? I think authentic memorabilia. I wouldn't have thought that would be it, no. Ricky going to be a happy man tonight after his son played so well. Can't wait to see Ricky's match reaction fan cam, actually. Edison more assists than Jesse in the Premier League this season, says Joanne. I hope people get at Edison like they do De Gea. Could have stopped both goals and imagine a Sancho in place of James. Mr. Glenn Johnson, 10 out of 10 for Ollie today. If James and Martial played on Bruno, we would have won comfortably, not to forget the penalty. Exactly. Igalo's hold-up play and first touch is pure class, says Mark's 10. Sterling fit perfectly into Aaron Wan-Bissaka's pockets as Ninja Smurf United. I just loved it when Morez went on that side, tried to skin him, and he just looked at the ball and took it off him. Alex Limscombe, Wan-Bissaka, the undoubted man of the match, and we get Titanium by Liam Gallagher, top of the chart next week. I'm going to try and do that. We need a Garlo on a permanent. He plays for the team, says George Dobbin. That's a bit reactionary, mate. Scotty too hotty, says you unlucky. Zartik Doob, just noticed we're just 5 points adrift of Leicester now. Yes, Leicester are getting pulled in. Very good point. They play tomorrow against Villa. If they don't win, they are going to get pulled in. It might be third and fourth for Chelsea and United at this point. Lee Marsden, Ollie has Pep in his pocket. We need a few more players in the summer and we are back. Bring on 2021. We are the team in form. Let's keep it going for top four. Look, I'm very happy with Manchester United today. Very, very happy. Why wouldn't you be? Thoroughly enjoyed it. Expected us to win and I don't know why. And we totally deserve to win. I'm not going to get carried away. I'm not going to get carried away because we've got carried away too many times in the past. And I'm not getting carried away by this result at all. I'm very, very happy with it. Can't wait for the fan cams. Going to be checking them out. They'll be coming up in the next few minutes. Can this team become a title winning side? If I just want to drop a little bit of realism here, why are we a title winning side? What is our philosophy? How are we going to go and beat teams every week playing like that? You can't play like that against bloody West Ham. You can't play like that against Watford. We've still got to find what we are. It's fine going into these games and winning short-term games. We've done it against Chelsea on the opening day. We've done it against City today. Great. Really deserved performances. But you can't play 5 defenders and 2 holding midfielders against 75% of this league. And that is what the challenge is now. For the remainder of this season, we should never play 5 at the back again, because we're not playing anybody good enough to play against 5 against the back. I think it's a really exciting result and a really exciting performance from now as to how we're going to build out the rest of the season, because it's these next couple of months where we find out what we're all about. What are we all about? Can we play a good philosophy style of football? Because that's what we've got to do against the teams that are left. Because we ain't going to play 5 at the back away to Villa. It'd be a waste of time. He would never do that. So very excited about what's to come. Thanks everyone for watching. Speak to you all soon. Smash a like on the video. Fan cams are coming in. And Manchester is red. Speak to you soon.